We are honored to host previous UX conference attendees at our NNG participant panels to share their tips and applied learnings. Here's our panelist, Dora Brun, a UX researcher in Germany, sharing her team's productivity tips in our 2021 virtual participant panel.
So I will be talking about agile hacks for UX research teams today. And yes, I studied psychology, and I've always been interested in development and innovation, which led me to become a UX researcher. Currently I work at Zipgate, which is a software company located in Germany. We are about 280 people, and we are a mobile provider. This means that we have a portfolio of different internet telephony products, like a telephone system and a mobile phone plan, which runs all voice over IP. And we work fully agile, because we think we achieve really good results with it. And we also have a lot of fun at work. In the background, you can see our office, and all the pictures you see in this presentation are also taken in our office. Okay, so this is my agenda. I will just focus on 2 agile hacks today to go more in depth, and that you can really take away something from it. I will talk about a method that is called Kaikaku. This is Japanese for radical change. We'll also talk about our open test lab that we implemented in our company, and I will share a Miro template for user interviews with you in the end of this talk. So this is my team. We are 4 UX researchers, a product owner, and a Scrum Master. And right now I really want to focus on the Scrum Master, because this is a really important role. In our case, she will make sure that we will live up to the values and practices of Scrum. And I would also consider her as a team coach, which means that she enables us to improve and to do our best possible work. And you might ask, okay, why are you even working agile? Because we are not a product team who is developing software products, and lean and agile ideas were originally made for product teams. But we face similar challenges and conditions product teams do. For example, we concentrate on defined tasks, and in the lean cosmos, that would be considered as the value of focus. And we prepare projects for product teams. And this means that before a product team starts to develop a software, we will already do some research. Like, for example, we are doing a quantitative research right now with 500 people. And when it comes to actually developing the product, the team will already have some information about their users and the target groups. And this also implies that we have stakeholders. In this case, this would be our product team, in the first place. And we also have a product increment, which is reducing the uncertainty of decisions that our company faces. So important decisions that are made in our company are based on our user insights. We also have a second job, which is supporting the product teams who have no UX research in the team itself. So we want to really enable the company to do more and more research. And I guess this is a situation many of you might know if you're working in the research field, to really switch between your own project and enabling others to do research by themselves. And in our case, this was kind of a focus switch. So we wanted to do both at the same time. We had our own project with a team we needed to get to, and we also had to support the teams in the rest of the day. And this got really messy with scheduling meetings and stuff. And we also, research is a lot of organization. So we had the users and 2 teams, and it just got really messy. And we do have retrospectives. every 2 weeks, we look back at the last sprint, so we can learn from the past and see what did go well, what didn't go so well. In those retrospectives, we just found out that we had like more and more stress, and we had too many appointments, and we tried to implement some extra calendars or Trello boards, but it just didn't work out. And this was the point where our Scrum Master said, "Okay, let's just crumple it up and do kaikaku." This is the Japanese term for radical change, as I said. So in the agile world, you want to iterate on smaller things to change your work, to do the best possible work you can do. But in some cases, this kaikaku method is also like a super good tool to facilitate change or big change in a very short amount of time. So from this point on, we decided to work in a completely different manner. And we started to just focus on our own project. So we didn't do any support for the teams at all, except one research hour every Monday. And this is how we work till now. And this can also change again. So if we see in our team, okay, this doesn't go well, or we need some iteration, then we will just change it again to have the best working conditions. And we are already thinking about new iterations. And you might say, okay, I mean, it's easy to just drop a project and say, okay, now we don't have like this focus switch anymore. And so we needed to come up with an idea to still support our product teams, because luckily in our company, teams really want to do research by themselves. And of course, we want to enhance that. And this is why we came up with an open test lab. This is an event that takes place regularly every 3 months, and it's in the evening, where teams can easily talk to users on a regular basis. So we recruit 4 to 5 testers from our own test pool or from external agencies, and the users can test the products and features the teams are presenting to them. Like, for example, usability tests, or the teams can also do short interviews. And every session is 25 minutes. So it's really easy to get in there as a team, even if you never did a user interview before. And we also have like a surprise warm-up task. Like in German, we have this Kinder surprise eggs. I don't know if you know them. So we have like a task which helps us to, or helps the users to test the thinking aloud method. So we will ask them, okay, just unwrap this egg and think what you're doing. For example, I would like unwrap it and say, okay, I'm just taking this one off. And then you have the chocolate. Okay, that smells nice. And I crack it. And then I see this little yellow egg. And I will also, you always get some little toy. I don't know what it is. But I guess you know where I want to go with this. So I'm talking while I'm doing something. And we will also have a retrospective on the Open Test Lab itself. So we can get feedback from our teams to get better in this Open Test Lab itself. And we do we make an insight video after each Open Test Lab. So we will share a video about all of insights with the whole company, so everyone can just easily drop in and have a feeling about what we did there. And on the left side, you can see a picture when we did it all in the office before Corona. Right now, it's all remote, and you can see on the right side the stage everyone lands right now, joining the Open Test Lab. And what are the advantages of the event? So, as I said, the teams don't need to worry about organizing anything. This is all done by us as the research team. And it's an all-company event, which I also really like because, I guess it's especially important in Corona times to have like events that bring out the team spirit. And by doing this, we can test early and often. And we just raise the awareness of research in the whole company and get better at knowing our users. And we also want to support our teams by doing their own research and providing templates. In our case, we most of the time have like a leading interviewer in user interviews and one or two people who take notes. And to get from user statements to good insights, that's a really big step. And we really wanted to help our team. That's why we created a template for user interview notes. And this looks like this. So here you can see the frame for user one in this case. And like this, I don't know if you see my cursor, it's this frame. And on the blue cards, you can write all those interview questions from the beginning to the end. And on this white frames under the blue cards, your interview note takers, they can just drop stickies in there and paste all the statements of the users very quickly. We also use like different colors for something, like we have a blue one for default for anything that is set by the user, and also pro and a pain, like greenish and red, and some other colors. So you can already say, okay, this maybe was an idea because the sticky is pink, for example. And we also really like emojis, as you might have guessed already in my presentation, but we also like them because we can use them. For example, we tag the users with emojis. In this case, user one gets the turtle, and we would tag every sticky with this turtle. And in the end, when we cluster all the stickies by questions, we will still be able to see which user said what in the end. And this is how it looks like in the real world. It's a bit more messy, but in the red bubbles, you can see like different clusters. And this is all already like coming to an end, my talk. So if you take something away from it, then I would recommend to implement a flexible work mode by, for example, doing Kakaku, and to test early and often, maybe in an open test lab, and support your teams doing research, maybe by providing some templates. So thank you for your time, and I'm excited to see your questions.
Thanks so much, Dora. Let's do a little clap. Thanks, Dora. So Dora has graciously decided to share her Miro board link, which I'm posting in the chat for you all. Dora, there were some great questions coming up around this. People, first of all, loved the chocolate idea of unwrapping that chocolate egg is such a great idea. Any suggestions for similar warm-up tasks that you can get users and participants talking in kind of this virtual environment that we're living in? Have you had any success with virtual warm-ups like that?
Yeah, right now we are sending out packages in advance of this event. So our users, they get like a surprise package, also like some more chocolate, I guess, and some swag and stuff. So this is also quite nice. And you can also maybe think of something people have at home that they maybe need to, maybe write, draw something, and then you can just easily get in contact, and they can say, okay, I'm drawing. We can say, okay, draw like a tree, and then you can just do it as a user and just tell, what are you doing? Why are you doing it? Maybe
that's great. Yeah, I love the different sides of that. You can send out the chocolate and have it be like this little surprise, or, if you don't have the budget for that, you can absolutely do something with what they have. That's awesome. Now, a few questions on the Open Test Lab as well. A lot of some logistical questions for you. So when you're doing an Open Test Lab, Are people signing up beforehand? Are they just kind of showing up? What expectations are you setting for the teams for this?
We will really invite the users in beforehand, so we know in the evening who will come, like which users will join us, and so the teams already have like a schedule. We have like schedules for the teams and for the users as well. So the users will just rotate between the teams. So each user will see each team in this evening. And so this is all planned.
Great. Now, when it comes to actually facilitating the test, is your team helping out with this? Do they know how to do some of this stuff? Or are you kind of teaching them that ahead of time? Or is it just strictly a facilitator that you have appointed?
Yeah. So doing the interview itself or the usability test is really something our product teams do themselves. For example, the designers like to do it mostly, but also we have developers or product owners who try to conduct an interview, which works out quite well most of the times. But if there are any questions, maybe about the target group or people don't know, how to write an interview guideline, then they can just reach us in the research hour we have every week, and also before like the open test that starts, we have like a Q&A where you can also drop your questions on anything, and we also have a document where everything is explained. So if when someone needs to read something again, maybe how to work. We are working with Look Back, for example, and so we have like the whole guidelines for this and document.
Awesome. For those of you who didn't catch that, Dora said they're using Look Back for a lot of their researchers. Is a great tool for that. I love that you're talking about giving all of this opportunity for others to learn, having those research hours, having that Q&A session, really allowing people to learn from you all. And that, I think, lends itself well to having a mature UX team in an agile world. And Mariana actually mentioned in the chat that she can tell that you're following the lean UX ways of working. How was that? Was that an approach that you came to after a long period of transition? Was it a fairly easy transition? How did that go, kind of adopting a lot of these lean UX methodologies?
Yeah, so as our company is working in an agile way, it was really an easy way, I guess, to say, okay, we will also try it out in the UX research team, even though we didn't know how to do it before. And then we just started using the Scrum framework. So we implemented those events like a retrospective and a refinement planning stand up every day. We just started out by doing this, and it went out quite well. And we also do some other stuff. For example, we do pairing. It's like we are mostly working in pairs of two, and like in the office, one of us would sit in front of the computer, and the other one would just sit next to it, and both of us think what to do. For example, when we organize stuff, so a lot about language as well, how to talk to users and to teams and organization. Then we just have two heads on one task, and this is how we make sure that it's all like really good quality our work, and also we have all the knowledge about tools and how we do things more like spread it into a team, because we always have two people who build something. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, when it comes to these open test labs and setting things up, so kind of another logistics question here, how much time do you spend setting up the Miro board, explaining the Miro board, and really showing all of that? How much time do you spend on that usually?
We also published some explanation. It's in German, but so we documentation for it. And also, I guess the normal explanation of this template, it doesn't take really long, maybe 10 minutes. So there's a little more to, can also, you're still seeing my, no, not seeing my, but you're seeing the Miro, I guess you're on it the most of you. So there are some more things that you can, for example, how to cluster those insights in the end, because here in the second frame under user 1, you can see the frame which is called clustered insights. And we will put all of the users' statements into this frame. So we have all in one. And this is also something which is like maybe important to know before you use the template.
Sure. Yeah, that documentation is so helpful to allow others to really pick it up easily. You talked a lot about retrospectives and learning from Kaikaku when you're starting that out, learning from the open test labs, and really talking about how the process works for you as a team. What are your biggest takeaways from these retrospectives? Like, what were the biggest things that y'all struggled with in the beginning when you're kind of taking these on to hopefully help some folks who are maybe looking into these as future methods for them to try?
Yeah, so Kaikaku is definitely one thing of it. I guess having retrospectives at all is a really big learning for us, because things that are like in the team and you don't really talk about it in day-to-day basis, they just come up really early in the retrospectives, and we can talk about arising problems really early. That's really good. We can do it like either like in considering things that are focused on our work, but also on our communication. And I guess the second thing, which is really important in my opinion, is to really have a Scrum Master. Because I can understand that that companies have the feeling, okay, we need to spare the Scrum Master because this person might not have a direct effect on the product increments, but still it's so important to have someone who can like look from an outside perspective on your team, and also like has the information about how Scrum works. And for example, this method to just to Kaikaku to do something completely different, we would never have done it if we wouldn't have a Scrum Master. So this is also really important for us.